Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny and here it is the beginning of April and we are back on the front porch, and yet again as soon as we start the video, what happens? The wind.
Yeah, spring.
It is spring, but Jerry and I are both mic'd up today, so hopefully this will go a little bit better and smoother and that you can both hear us both more clearly. If you've never made videos before, let me tell you, sound is a booger. Wouldn't you say?
Sound is the hardest.
Sound is definitely the hardest. So thank you for all your grace and patience over the last, year plus. I'm just going to get comfy. This is how I sit in a rocking chair at home. So we're here for our front porch chat. It is an absolutely gorgeous day. In fact, it is Easter, and so we had a wonderful time at church this morning, and we're going to get together with family later tonight. But we're out here just doing a video. I mean, gorgeous Carolina blue sky. The trees are popping green.
Yeah, we finally got the grass mowed.
Dear heavens.
It was rain, and then I was trying to get the mower fixed. The
mower was broken.
And when I didn't know it was broken, and I went to go change my blades. I want to put new blades on right before I cut the grass for the first time, really. It's been cut one other time. And then that's when we found out we had a broken spindle, and I had to order the spindle, and then it got rained again, then it grew another 6 inches. And
I mean, y'all, it was like a jungle out there.
Yeah.
It was tall. So the grass is finally cut. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Yep.
Trees are popping. Pollen is falling. We had to wipe down the chairs before we could actually sit on them today, and they were yellow. And one of my favorite things of all the season, the entire season, happened when we came out here.
Oh, hummingbird.
Hummingbird. So we've heard our first hummingbird. I don't think it's in the shot, but right behind us we have a hummingbird feeder. And we were back in the house for a second, and we could see through the window. We had a male hummingbird. So we have the ruby-throated hummingbirds. So you can tell that they're males because they have that beautiful deep red throat. Of course, the girls are kind of a little plain Jane. That way they can blend in and take care of the babies in the nest. So the males seem to be the first ones that always show up first. So they are here. Our feeders are out. And in fact, at our house, because the hummingbirds are so territorial, we have 3 feeders, and they're all on different sides of the house so that they can't sit in a tree and see another feeder, because you got to spread them out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, they'll they'll sit on the feeders, and they're sitting there and they're looking, waiting on somebody to come and get them. So that's very exciting. And we'll do a video here in the next couple of days, hopefully, on plants that you can use to attract hummingbirds to your garden, because obviously they would much rather prefer the natural plant than the feeder.
Yep. Yeah, because we're here in North Carolina, 7B.
Right.
It's warmed up. Just last weekend it was 80, I think it was. This weekend we almost had a record low temperature on
Friday morning?
Saturday morning. It would have been Saturday morning, but it only got to 29, and we still had a really pretty good heavy frost.
Freeze.
It laid real heavy, freeze. So now, we're climbing back up, probably get to 70 today.
Yeah, it's nice and warm today, but we had 2 nights in a row of, one night was 31, 32, and then the next night was the 20.
Yeah.
It actually even said 28 in the house.
Right.
And it did, even though we did the video about covering some things, we also had really high wind on those nights. So that's the downside too, is using those cloth fabrics unless you can really
blow them off.
Cinch them down. Like I had the hydrangea that's on the other side of this porch, because it's where it's positioned on the house, it gets all of that wind. And even though I had it covered, we woke up the next morning and the cover was off. So it did get fried. Yeah. But it blooms on new and old.
So we had plants outside, and this is something I think I have preached to our customers for a long time. And sometimes I think they think I'm crazy, or I'm just trying to sell a petunia or a calibrachoa, super bells or super petunias, whichever way you want to call them. they can take cold temperatures, 28, 29, and I had 150 hanging baskets, mixed petunia and super bells, outside, and we ran out of frost cover and did not cover them. They actually loved it. They were beautiful the next morning. At the end of the day on Saturday after we got finished selling, they were just, and they really tightened up and really looked real pretty. So if you're here in North Carolina, South Carolina,
Georgia, Florida,
it's time to get them. It's time to get your super petunias. It's time to get the super bells. We need to get them in the ground, get them in the pots, get your hanging baskets. So it's go time for us. I know there's a lot of you watching in other places. It's not go time yet. So,
but it will be soon.
We're showing you
what is to come.
What's to come.
And I do say too, because the bed that's right behind me here on the porch, that bed itself is not on irrigation. We have Jerry installed drip irrigation for the hanging baskets that go on our front porch. But this bed behind me that has the tea olives and the dwarf horseman, and then I always fill it with the super petunias and euphorbia, different things like that. The bed itself is not on irrigation. And I have found the key to success with my petunias, well, any of them really, is to get them in the ground as early as possible when it's cool, so their roots can have plenty of time to get established before the heat hits.
Yes, and I was looking at your touch and dye section. Yeah.
I have two.
Yeah. So your bubble gum.
Bubble gums.
Then we trim them back.
Yep.
They're full of buds.
Yep.
Big. So I think, and they're not totally peeking out with flowers. I think it's because they're hiding behind the greenhouse. But I think they need to go ahead and go. I think we need to go ahead and get them in the ground.
So that means that here pretty soon, this bed behind us.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and we'll get it in the ground. So that because today's April the 4th, and we can look 2 weeks out and everything looks fine.
Looks good for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Gets us to the April the 15th, 18th, 19th, somewhere around there.
Right, and then even if I know that I'm going to use bubble gum. I'm using bubble gum in a lot of places this year. I still haven't quite narrowed down what I'm going to use with it in the bed, but go ahead and get that narrowed down and get it nailed down, and that way we can get it in the ground. Because if we do have another cold nights like we had, the petunias will be fine, and then I would just, depending on what else I chose to put in there, would have to, possibly be covered. But anyway, so that's exciting.
Looks good. The weather looks really good. So I've said that before there at the beginning of April. Feel pretty good about it.
And then last year in the middle of May, we got another frost freeze, and I lost like a whole flat of coleus that was in the cottage garden up there.
So it's really, we're really waiting on that. We wouldn't put that outside yet. Coleus,
basil, elephant ears, tomatoes, even like my salvia.
Yeah. So Vermilion was out last night on the table, and it got to 38. Looked at it this morning, and it looked great.
Hummingbirds will like that.
Yeah.
So, so what are you going to do after we finish this video? Or what were you talking about?
I was talking about finishing up some tricky cuts around the fire pit.
On the patio.
On the patio. We'll see how far I get there and up to the seating wall. We try to get this knocked out this week, if at all possible. So we can landscape and then do our fountain.
I know.
Jenny and I talked about that this morning again, and I think we found that we were going to switch the place for the fountain. So we'll have to get a video on that.
We're going to change the plans all over again. Not anything major.
Yeah, we're going to purchase a system from Aquascapes.
Yeah.
And that will have a pump and a reservoir, all the kit. So that'd be kind of cool to see. I think that would be a good video.
It will be a fun video because it
kind of how to make a fountain out of a pot.
Out of a pot. The pot is not designed to be a fountain. It's it's designed to be a planting container.
Yeah.
But we're going to turn it into a fountain. We haven't showed it to you yet, but it's because it's a big one, and honestly, full disclosure, where it is, everything around it just looks horrible. It looks like Redneckville, and so I don't want to show it to you where in its
everything in the back where the patio construction has been taking place is just a little bit of a mess.
It's awful, y'all.
But we're waiting because all of it's going to be
ripped up.
Ripped up. The grass will be gone once we do our landscaping and mulch and it's just no need
change
to.
Completely. So it's construction zone.
Yeah.
But I just can't bring myself to show you where it is because of what all is around it. But it's the Asian water bowl from Unique Stone that we ordered in that same color as the urns that are on the columns of the seating wall. So it's that dark walnut color. And it's massive. I mean, it's huge. Of course, you see the dimensions on, in the pictures and in the catalog, but then when you actually see it in person, like it's huge, and it's gonna make an absolutely stunning fountain. And we were thinking about, putting it in front of the new deck in that new little bed and have a David Austin rose on each side. And it will fit, but we just think it may be a little too tight, a little overcrowded.
We could make more of a landscape impact just to the entrance of the patio with it being in a bigger bed. We could put a lot of decorative rock around it and different plants that would be really cool with
I think it would be
that.
more of a showpiece there.
Yes, and we'll still be able to see it, hear it at the fire pit just like it would there, or on the porch.
Anywhere on the patio, you'll be able to see it and hear it.
Yeah, it's just
going. So if you're standing at the steps coming from the house, instead of it being over to your right, it's going to be more a little bit kind of in front to the left of you.
So that's two cool things to look forward to is the hummingbird plant.
Plants.
And we'll do a video on the fountain.
And then the boxes.
The boxes.
The boxes at the patio.
Yep.
There's a lot of things. I mean, the video list that we have is just massive. There's tons of things that we have.
So you'll see a little bit of a shift in videos now that we're in the planting season, container planting. So if you're in North Carolina,
or anywhere warmer,
anywhere close to us, it's time to come get your container components for your containers, and then we'll talk about that a little bit in that hummingbird.
Oh, sure, about how to put a container together, because I know with a lot of new gardeners, there's a big mystery of how do you put a container together so that it looks cohesive and it's pretty. So, of course,
this one will have the components, but it'll be themed for hummingbirds and other pollinators.
I mean, there's just the video possibilities are absolutely endless with those kinds of things. So, and I know that coming up, like this is just one that we're going to do, like building a container, a mixed arrangement that will really attract hummingbirds. But then we'll do, we're going to be planting an aqua pot in the shade with some annuals. We're going to be planting things in full sun. So we're going to cover a whole wide range. So maybe hummingbirds aren't your jam and you're like, okay. I don't know why, but whatever.
But it'll still be a very educational video for just putting a pot together.
Right, but I'm just saying that if you have if you need something for shade, if you need something for full hot sun, like we're going to be covering all of those in the next, month or so. Mm-hmm. So we've got a ton of things. We're going to be obviously talking about putting things in beds and putting things out in landscapes. Lots of different ideas coming up.
Yeah, it's so far at the nursery, as far as it's been very busy since the end of February when we opened back up. We're now running full steam schedule, Thursday, Fridays, Saturdays.
Right, so let's just say this, let's just clarify this for a second. Because we do have very limited, exclusive hours, so we are running full steam, but our full steam for the nursery is only Thursday through Saturday.
Yeah, Thursday through Saturday. That's a Thursday and Friday and a Saturday.
Not Sunday. 9 to 4. Not Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yes, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 9 to 4. I think it's kind of like, we have it everywhere, but right now we're Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 9 to 4.
And that
will change once it slows down.
Oh, when it slows down, I was like, we're not opening up another day.
What are you talking about?
I was like, we're not going to open another day. So if you're, I know here in the South, especially, we have like our barbecue joints. They have those kind of limited hours.
They do.
So I just equate it to like we're just a really popular barbecue joint. Is that we have exclusive hours, and why do we do that? Like, well, what do we do the rest of the week? Well, if you've watched any of our videos for any amount of time, I think you can kind of understand what it is that we do on our
So we're doing videos.
Days.
We might be doing a video.
Like today on a Sunday.
We might be doing landscaping. We might be working in our yard. We might be growing the plants. So we have we have extended our what we consider our growing season, potting up season. It's still happening today.
We're still getting new plants in.
Yes, I ordered more PW plants, more, just components. We're going to get ready to do inventory, and we're going to try to decide on what we need to do from this point.
Right, and more perennials are coming in, and different things like that. But because we've had such a fabulous season, I mean, already, here it is the 1st of April, we're talking about we're having a great season. But I mean, we've had so many wonderful people, so many of you great folks have come to see us, whether you're from Alabama or Michigan and Ohio, and of course all the different places in North Carolina and South Carolina, down near Charleston, Greenville, Travelers Rest, lots of great places, Chapel Hill. I mean, so maybe you're not from around here, but these places are not just, of course we get our people who are literally 5 minutes away. One of our sweetest ones, Janice, she was here twice yesterday. She came, she bought stuff, she went home, she planted, she was like,
I thought I saw her again.
No, she did. She came back and Italy said,
I thought I was having like a movie moment.
No, she was like, I got home and I planted everything and then I needed some more, so I just came back. So she's only like less than 5 minutes down the road. But these places are, multiple hours away, and so they're coming in.
And we want to hear from you when you get here.
Yeah.
And let us know where you're from. It's exciting for us, so don't.
And we have our map. Remember, we have that map that's on our bumper. Don't be bashful and tell us where you're from. And then when you go to check out, just ask for it's a little push pin, and you put it in on the map of where you're from, because it's really fun to see all these great places. We had Nelson and Chad from Classic Caladiums. They were here this week. So Nelson lives in Texas. So he put his pin in at Tyler, Texas. And then we have Paul coming this week, who lives in Florida. So
he lives in Florida.
He's one of our PW guys, so he will put his pin in. And then later this summer, Erica is coming, who's our other PW. So Paul's with Pleasant View, and Erica's from 4-Star, so she's in Michigan, so she'll put her pin in. So wherever you're from, when you come, let us know. We love it. It's fantastic.
Blast.
It is.
Yeah, that's the favorite part.
It is. It's definitely the best part of the whole thing is to meet people.
Yeah. So a lot of hanging baskets are going to become ready this weekend. So we have about 800 hanging baskets, don't you think?
Yeah. Remember that video we did where we were, where we showed you where we were potting up the hanging baskets? So maybe on the nursery update we can show some of those, because I know people were asking how the baskets were coming. So we'll always do a nursery update during the week, and then we'll be doing a ton more, just because it is the season of actual planting and pairings and plant information.
We have a really cool video out last year on doing hanging baskets and how to use them in different ways.
Right.
So that would be a good one for you to go back and watch.
I will link it here.
Yeah.
Up here, and I'll also link it in the video description. So if you don't know how to find the video description on the main page, just click the little down button. Anyway, it'll be right there. So you can click on that and look at that. Because when you buy a hanging basket, of course you can use it as a hanging basket, but there's a lot other things that you can do with it that make a big impact in your landscape. That sometimes, I mean, let's just face it, sometimes hanging baskets can be a little high maintenance. And so you can take your hanging basket and use it in a different way that's a lot less work, but massive show.
Yeah, throws off big impact real quick.
It does.
Yeah. So.
Let's see. What else you want to chit-chat about?
I don't know.
Yeah. I have no clue, like, how long we've been talking here, but I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah. So Jerry's going to go work on the patio, because like he said, he's got some funny cuts to go. Oh, another thing. You know what we can do this week?
What's that?
What else is coming this week?
What is coming this week?
Has to do with the patio. And I gave you a deadline.
Oh.
And I said, get her done, son.
Yeah, the roses.
Yes. Yeah. So we got an email that my David Austin roses are coming. I think it said Tuesday, but blessed. Like I think we're the last house on the UPS route, so it won't be till Tuesday, probably about what, 6 or 7 o'clock at night.
6 or
when
7.
When our UPS comes, sometimes later. So they are coming this week, so we'll do the whole video on the unpackaging, what you have to do to them, planting them, give you all the names, because don't ask me what the names are. I ordered those things like 9 months ago. I don't remember which ones I got.
Yep.
And that whole deal. And also, so this is our first time, growing the David Austin roses. So I know a lot of you have a bunch of experience out there growing them. So if you have any tips that you have learned and success, feel free to go ahead and put them in the comments below on this video. So that way, if there's anything that I need to know beforehand, make sure that you share some info with this sister so that she can get them off to a right start.
Right.
Of course, we'll be following all of their instructions, but it's also, I'm just like you. I like to hear from somebody that's actually done it and knows some secrets and some tips.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Are we good?
We're good.
Yeah, so he's going to go do the patio, and I'm going to go in the house and get some yummy food made for we're going to do Easter supper tonight. Make it a little low key. So that's what we're going to do. So get some stuff planted, cooked, and then I might go put it out in the garden. But anyway.
Sounds good.
All right. Once again, the wind is picking up. But as always, thank you so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a wonderful day, wonderful week. Happy Easter. I know it won't be Easter when you actually see this, but I hope you had a wonderful Easter. And we love you, and we will see you in the next video.
All right.
Bye, friends.
See you guys.